morning. It is Thursday, November 14th, and my name is Rob, that developer dad. I always do that backwards. I need to learn to go right to left because everything's flipped. Sorry about yesterday and the day before. I somehow managed to find myself fallen victim to some kind of cold virus. It was tons of fun, let me tell you. I was a zombie yesterday. Yeah, Mrs. has the same thing. She's had this nasty persistent cough for months now, and it's been not much fun for anybody. So this morning I am going to put the finishing touches on the landing page for the DM's familiar, and then we're gonna start looking at getting this thing hoisted up to a GitHub repository, and then from there bounced over to an Azure Static Web Site. So we'll share my screen. Boop. Here's that. It's looking nice. I've added some content to my about page. Here we are. It looks pretty okay in a mobile layout. I'll just shrink that down like so. And then we'll hit the hamburger and go to the home page. And what I've done, instead of putting a link over to the sign up and sign in user flow for now, because I'm not quite ready to go live with all that yet, is I've added a mail to. I need to add a subject line to this mail to, just so that it's pre-populated, but that will send an email to the contact box at that developer dad, and then I'm going to set up some Exchange server rules and stuff like that over there to route emails that contain, where the subject contains the string that I embed in the subject line, and all that happy stuff. And then once I am live, I'll be able to send an email to anybody that clicks the link. I've got my privacy policy that opens up in a new window. I need to inject some email addresses in here, and I'll do that in a few minutes. And then, of course, my terms of service, I still have to draft those, but I'll get to it. No Astro CX CS at index 0. That's weird. Let's hit that privacy policy again. Come back over here. Good. Good. All right. It was probably just a momentary glitch with Node. So I'm going to close my email client because I don't need that toast popping up in my screen share or anything like that. And I want to shrink this back down a little. No, I didn't want to go full screen. You silly goose. I do want to pull the top down so you can see my pretty little buttons. And let's pull the bottom up a scooch so you can see the footer that I've added. And this little tag that jumps up is just whatever Astro throws in when we're in developer mode. So the first thing I got to do is look up, and I'll just open a new tab here, how to auto populate subject in a mail to link. So it's just question mark, subject line is here, groovy. So it's just a query string. Copy that. And in here, I'm just going to paste that here. Tell me when the DM's familiar is ready. And I should capitalize the T. Save that. We'll go back to Safari. No, that's the Twitch panel. Where the heck did I make it go? Oh, duh. It's in a tab. Here we go. And let's just test this. It's got to open my email client again. And there we go. We can see that the email that popped up has populated with, tell me when the DM's familiar is ready. Cool. So, I suppose the next step in my flow, I'm going to open up a new window, and I'm going to go log into M365. And I want to go to apps. And we'll go to Outhouse. Oh, excuse me. And I'll go to Groups. And yeah, there's some email in there. I can't create a new subfolder. That's okay. Inbox. Let's see here. I wonder why it won't let me create a new folder. That's weird. Let's just test it. Tell me when the DM's familiar is ready. And I'll send that. Off it goes. You can probably hear the little jet sound. And I'm just going to keep this up on my other screen and see how long it takes Exchange to route it to me. It should arrive at some point. Well, I have two. And sure enough, the email has arrived in my inbox, in my at my contact distribution group over in my Exchange server, and I can apply some inbox rules and stuff like that, like auto replies and so on. Like I'll auto reply with a nice little thank you message, and I'll see what other kinds of automations I can add. Like any email that comes in with that subject, I'd like to add them to some sort of list or some such thing so that I can create beta cohorts. And when I go fully live, I'll be able to email everybody back and say, hey, it's live, here's the link. So cool. I think this is good enough to hoist up onto the web. So, let's see. I need the Astro docs and installation and setup. Deploy your site. I don't want to use Netlify or Vercel or anything like that. Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure. Boop. Okay, your app code pushed to GitHub. All right. Get rid of that. Get rid of the Flexbox layout guide. And then I do need to Google something. how do I add an existing local Git repo to a repo in the cloud in GitHub? Bam. So first I need to create a new repository on GitHub. Top of the repository on GitHub's quick setup page, click to copy the remote repository URL, terminal, change the current working directory of the local project. Here we go. Easier for you and others to work together on projects and manage code. Yeah. Never get, add, commit, or push sensitive information. Passwords or API keys. Yeah, I know. Adding existing source to GitHub. Add the code to GitHub by typing commands in a terminal. Converting. All right, first thing we have to do is create a GitHub repo. So, in GitHub, and I need a new repository, and it's going to be tdmf website landing. Description, landing page for the DMs familiar. This one's going to be private. Don't need a README, get ignore template. Do we have a template for Astro? We do not. Okay, choose a license. I don't need to worry about that because it's private. And create the repo. Create a new repository on the command line. What's all this stuff? Okay. So I'm going to pull that off to the other screen. Shrink that down, shrink this down. And do I have everything saved? Get rid of this. And I don't like how it named my main branch master. I hate that. Ew. Apple T. How to rename master to main in local Git repo. All right, so I need to, over here, well, no, let's try it this way. Come in here, code, and open terminal. I want to go git dash h, make sure I've got git, good. So what I want to do is git branch. I should probably stash all of these. Message will be initial creation of landing site, commit. Okay. Pop this over here. And this information says go away, frickin' pop-ups. Git status. Well, let's take a look over here. I've got a whole pile of instructions over here. Git status on branch master. Nothing to commit, working tree clean. Beautiful. I don't have a remote repository at all yet. Git branch -m master main. Git status on branch main. Good. And let's come back over here. Good. Now I do want to view I'll allow it. Use this account. And how about publish branch? Where can I see all of my branches? Let's click on that link. See what we get. Nothing. Okay. I've got a couple of warnings. Also define standard property background clip for compatibility. I should probably do that. Background clip, text, and text fill color, transparent. Okay. We'll just 86 that. I should probably take a look and make sure I didn't blow anything up. Just to be certain. Okay, good. But we can still see that there's a slight gradient to that header up there. Okie dokie. Shrink that down. Now, renaming is successful. I need to, pardon me, come back out to my terminal and say git remote add origin. Now I need the address. There we go. And Git push -u. I don't know what that switch does. Nope. Git status. Change is not staged for commit. Okay, that's right. I made a change over here. Gimme. I'm just going to grab this, paste, save, fixed a couple CSS warning messages, commit. Now, create branch, checkout detected, checkout detached, yeah, publish branch. Okay, it says, maybe. Let's come back out here, run that git status again. On main branch, your branch is up to date with origin main, nothing to commit, working tree clean. Lovely. Let's pull this back over here, go to code. And we can see over here that the whole shebang is right there. Here's my README. Cool. Groovy. And our languages are mostly Astro, CSS, and some JavaScript. Okie dokie. So that's that. Next step. We're on main. I have exactly one branch. That makes me happy. For this, I am actually using, because this is just my landing page, I am using something called Astro.js, which I believe is, well, it's a node thing. And what Astro.js does for me is it gives me a lot of shortcuts to generate a static website from my source files, but it basically does it similar to something like React or Angular or Vue, in that I can define components that are going to be common across. I can create layouts, and the syntax, yes, exactly the same framework and generator as I used for that developer dad. So I've got these files, and for the most part, these layouts are just plain vanilla, boring old HTML and CSS. There's a little bit of JavaScript magic in here, and it basically allows me to componentize my website, and then at build time, it takes all of these components and files and stuff like that and munges them all together, like throws them in the blender, and then spits out clean HTML, CSS, and JavaScript for me at the very end. I need a different favorites icon. And I'm going to go to content, app images. How big is this Sleepy Kitty SVG? Well, it's scalable. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it in here. And it's not going to let me paste it. I have to reveal this in the Finder. Drop it here. I'm going to delete favorite icon. I'm just going to rename it to, I'm going to rename this to Favicon. Save. And let's see if it blew up my site. It did not. But I don't get to see the favorites icon there. For some reason, it doesn't show it. It's okay. Let's try loading this in Edge. Localhost 4321. The site isn't secure, whatever. So the favicon doesn't really show up very often, does it? Done. Other favorites. Oh yeah, it's just a little black blob, but we can kind of see it. Oh, there it is up there. I feel like I should use a different SVG for that. Had a whole pile of them. And SVG optimizer. Nope. I had, is it in images? Nope. Nope. Stream post, tech decomp. Where did I save them? They might be. Give me a second. Network, TDD serve, LAN public. Cat.svg. How about a D20? I like that, but I want to reverse the colors. Let's copy. And what other Finder windows have I got? Here's assets. Paste. What's this vectors.css? I don't recognize that. Okay. Now let's come back out to VS. And let's see, where the heck am I? Where'd it go? Favicon 2, reveal in Finder. Oh, yeah, I'm a dope. Paste. Here we go. I don't know what the heck assets was. Let's pop in here. So we can do stuff with these things. Path fill. And then there should be a path stroke in here somewhere. But because this is just XML, I can do a little something like this. Oh, what are you doing? Okay, we're inside the attributes there. So that's fine. I'm just going to pop this down here. And we're going to prettify this XML up a little bit. So there's the fill color. This is all the stuff that is basically the instructions that tell the cursor how to define the path when it's rendering the scalar vector graphics image. It's a whole lot of gobbledygook. I'm just looking for other color directives. So what I want to do here is make this save it. And now I'll pop over here, delete that because it just looks like a black blob. Goodbye. Yep. And rename this to favicon. Save. Now, where's Edge? And we can see our cute little D20 up there. Let me pull this down a little bit. There's the D20 right there. So I like it. I like that a lot. That'll work. So we'll pop open the source control again. I'm going to get rid of favicon 2 because we don't need it. Goodbye. And swapped out the favicon. Commit. Sync. Up you go. Up I go then. Oh boy. I just play a lot of Warcraft. All right. The next thing I gotta do. Added the locally hosted code to GitHub. Cool. Here's the GitHub thing. Here's add locally hosted. Azure account and the subscription key. I got it. The SWA extension in Visual Studio Code. Opens the project in VS Code. Open the static web apps extension. Sign into Azure. And click the plus button to create a new static web app. Which subscription key to use? Okay, this might involve some credential type stuff. Okie dokie. We're going to pop down to Azure and get help with Azure questions and tasks and Copilot. Yeah, give me the GitHub Copilot for Azure. I'm in. I dig it. Okay, you can go away. TDD apps and app services, web pub sub, static web apps. There's that. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's in pay as you go. Static web apps. Here's that developer dad. And will, what's that? Focused resources, static web apps. It's all this stuff. Okay. And maybe I should go get the static web app extension. Static, here we go. All right, there's that. I have all that stuff. New browser, debugging is not supported on the web. Note that this does not require the Azure account extension and uses VS Code's authentication provider. Okie dokie. Blah, blah, blah. All the things. Okay. So we'll come back here. Refresh, nope. Resource group. Create static web app. Name for the new static web app. Press enter to confirm or escape to cancel. I don't feel like this is correct. But we'll go through the motions. And I'm just going to say the DM's familiar landing. Use East US 2. Well, I should make sure it's in the same place as that. I don't like these instructions. Let's just bounce out of that. Okay, static site generators with static site, blah, 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 SWA with VS Code. Create an Azure account, create blah, blah, blah. Pricing tier and API details. Builds to a dist folder. Blah, blah, blah. Complete, your app will be created in Azure. Action YAML, so on. That is not the same one that I used before. I'm gonna, let's say, using GitHub Actions. Ah, yes, Agremont. Here we go. Accept. All right, so we got to go off the Azure portal. Pull this out into its own window. Log in as me. Going to pay as you go. And I need to look at resources. Pardon me. All right. Let's go into the resource group. And I'm going to create. And where did that? Here we go. Static web app. Here we go. Hit the create button. And it's thinking. Static site. The DM's familiar landing. Plan type is free. We're going to be using GitHub. All right, organization. I think we'll use that. Repository, TDMF website landing, branch main. Hosting region, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so deployment configuration, deployment authorization policy. Okay, I'm just making sure I've got all the right things. Authorize Azure to access your GitHub account. Select the repository. Got that. Select repository. Select the branch using main. Build details. Select other and then enter /dist. App location is dist. Output location is dist. We'll get to that. Deployment configuration. Let's just use the deployment token. Advanced. How about none? Distributed functions are in preview. I want to link a new tab real quick because I want to make sure I'm deploying everything to the right places here. I don't want want to make sure that I've got the right regions selected because I don't want cross-region yakking. Here you go. Let's take a look at the resources. Okay, East US 2. Good. And tags. Exposure. Public. Billing model. Paygo. Purpose. Product hosting. Resource role. Public applications. Review and create. All right. Create. Deployment is complete. Let's go to the resource. Now, I want to make sure I didn't just blow shit up. Pardon my language. We'll go to here. Good. Good, good, good. So those two coexist nicely. And let's take a look at Mango Island here. Congratulations on your new site. Groovy. Pardon me. So I can close this and add a custom domain, enterprise, edge, yeah. Serverless backend, don't care about any of that stuff. Okay, go to resource button to see the details. Provides a fun URL for me to use. I can also add a custom domain. I'll do that in a minute, or probably this afternoon, because that involves some DNS goofing. And I disenjoy DNS goofing around. Okay, now. We see that the source is set to the GitHub repository. Blah, blah, blah. Automate deployment with GitHub Actions. So, here's GitHub. Synchronize, reopen, close. Pull request types. And there is one other in here. Oh. Well, let's just take a look at this stuff in a minute. Contents of the file. So there's some sign-in stuff. Those are secrets. Don't tell anybody. Ubuntu latest. Build and deploy. Repo token. Action upload. Dist. So on and so forth. Now, we need to modify this to work with Astro. Add a few steps to build the site and then deploy it. So, let's run up here. And I'll post this, I'll make sure that I include the link to this thing that I'm working from in the description of the archived stream, as well as in the resulting YouTube video. So I'm going to go to read-only here. Or not read-only, but the editor. And we're just going to work on this stuff here. So first thing I need to do is set up some environment type stuff. App location. / dist. App artifact location. Now this environment is for the build environment. Output location is also dist. Azure Static Web Apps API token, colon. And then I'm going to run down here where it was declared. I'm going to grab this, copy, paste to root, save. Commit the changes. Now that's probably going to try to run and it's going to vomit all over the place. So down under the environment variables that are available to all jobs and steps in this GitHub workflow, there's another thing. Whoops, I got to go back to edit mode. Permissions, contents, read. Jobs, build and deploy job. Here's my build and deploy job. Now I need to give the build and deploy job permissions with an S, indent, contents, read, pull requests, write. Pardon me. If GitHub event name equals push, or else GitHub event name equals pull request, and GitHub, oh, this is a big long file thing. Is not equal to closed. Okay, so we've got our if, runs on Ubuntu latest, name, build and deploy job, steps, actions, checkout v3, cool, with submodules, true, LFS, false. I'll just get rid of that because it doesn't look like it's needed. Uses, oh, we have another dash uses. Actions slash setup dash node add v3. What are you complaining about here? Oh. There we go. Fix that little red wagon there. With node dash version 18.17.x cache npm. Run npm install run npm run build dash mode production And then the next step is build and deploy. And for now, I am going to start setting up the build deploy pipeline. And we're just going to commit directly to a main branch. Go. Hopefully it doesn't try running. I'm going to finish up the modifications of this stuff in between now and the afternoon stream. And with the afternoon stream, I will either go through the steps to set up the DNS and all that crap to point the DMsFamiliar.com at this static website. Now that one, I feel like I should do that in between as well so that I can, because DNS sometimes takes a while to update and all of that nonsense. So, golden pork chop. I don't even know what I said. It would have sounded like golden pork chop. But that sounds like a special prize we would give to a friend of ours named who goes by the name of Mouse. And Mouse is a enthusiastic carnivore. Like, he came to our house one night and like, I'm kind of hungry. You guys got any kind of snacks like pork chop? So now whenever I hear pork chop, I immediately think of our friend Mouse. So yeah, we got some stuff done. And this is all like that DevOps stuff that I don't particularly enjoy, but it sure is handy. I feel like if I were going to get good at it, I would have to do nothing but this for a period of months, just so that I could develop the muscle memory and everything like that. But I don't enjoy it. It like, once it's finally working, it's fantastic. But fighting with it to make it go is just, it's the wrong kind of puzzle for my kind of brain. I very strongly disenjoy doing DevOps and pipeline fiddling and all of this stuff. Like, YAML is one of the most miserable file formats I've ever had to deal with. I don't like it. I would much rather be on a team where there's a seasoned deployment engineer that actually enjoys this kind of stuff to do all this stuff for me. But if I gotta, I will. And I'm the only guy here, so I gotta. So I will. I will see you all this afternoon. Have a delightful lunchtime, or for some of you who are watching or were watching, it's the end of your workday. I know Scott is on the other side of the very large body of water to our east. So, yeah, we're getting closer to the finish line, and that's exciting. Until this afternoon, take care of yourselves and happy coding. See y'all later.